Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is how people view you when you're out in public. How do strangers view you? This kind of, in a way, to me, was a tie on one of the polls I did the other day. The best friend pick a card won, obviously, but this was kind of close second. So I wanted to make sure that I did this quite soon after the best friend pick a card because to me they were kind of like a tie. So that's what we're doing today. So I'm just gonna get straight into the video, and we have 4 piles for you to choose from. Pile number 1 is the blue calcite, if it focuses. Pile number 2 is the Lyran soapstone. Let's get that to focus. Pile number 3 is the ocean jasper. And pile number 4 is the amber crystal. So to see which crystal you were drawn to, the timestamps as always are going to be in the description box, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how strangers view you when you're out in public. So you guys chose the blue calcite. I'm going to pop that up the top and we are going to get straight in. I'm being told you have a very soft rising. You may have like a water rising. Specifically, I'm being taken to like a Pisces rising, a Cancer rising, maybe Scorpio rising. There's a fluidity to the way that you move and just the way that you look in a way. That's something that's coming through pile number 1. And I'm also picking up like a Taurusy, Libra, Venusian energy as well. I feel like it feels Taurus in the sense that you feel like you're very naturally attractive, but you know when someone has that ethereal essence, I feel like you have that, and I feel like that's it's just an aura about you in the way that you move. Like whether you wear makeup or not, I feel like less is more with you guys, because I just feel like your face is just a beautiful picture anyway. Like that's what I'm being told. Like, you know, like if you do wear makeup, I feel like soft glam and like just soft makeup and soft tones and soft colors, even if you don't wear makeup, like I feel like that really suits you. I don't know, there's something about your energy, like I feel like you're my water pile, but I feel like there's something about your energy where you feel like you float about, like you drift, and not in like a bad way. Like I feel like when people see you in public, there's something very graceful and very fluttery about you. I move my arms like I'm underwater, like it feels that way. I feel like you glide. You may not think that, but I just feel like that's just the aura and the softness that you have. You're very soft to approach. At least that's how people view you, which is why I'm feeling like you have like a watery ascendant. We'll get into it. It could be that you have a lot of, water in your chart. Or it could just be the demeanor that you have, but that's just something that's coming through. I'm hearing water trine as well. But let's get in. I'll start with tarot and then we'll move into your oracle cards. So pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1. How do strangers view pile number 1 when they're out in public? How do strangers view? You're from the pile. I love that this comes up because it's for the same souls every single time that I do a reading where it's like, what's attractive about you? How do people view you? What do people say about you? There's this one analogy that comes through for the same set of souls, and I know it's you guys, so hello again. Thank you for supporting me on all these videos because I love when your energy comes through. It's the bell analogy that I talk about when she's walking through the town reading her book and everyone's singing about her and she's just so oblivious and into her book. Like that comes through for the same group of souls, and it's like you come through all the time, and I'm like, oh, it's you guys again. It's the bell group or the water pile. Like it just comes through that way, and I feel like that's how people do kind of view you. And I feel like you may find some people try to sorry guys for the noise, it's summer now, so my windows are going to be open and the cars are loud and noisy. I feel like some people try to pick your brain because there's a lot that goes on in your internal world, but like it on the outside you just look like this soft little kind of like water fairy, like whether you're male or female, just like this soft water fairy kind of gliding along. But inside there's, and not that there's a storm inside, but there's like there's layers, you know, within, and I feel like people will try and pick your brain and try and unravel you. But I wouldn't even say that you're a closed book. I feel like if people ask the right questions, you'd answer them. But I feel like not a lot of people, especially strangers in public, would ask those sort of questions. Like, no one would ask you these deep questions about your emotional body, because I feel like it's your emotional body you're mostly attached to and connected to. I feel like not a lot of people would ask you those deep-rooted questions out in public. I feel like it's more small talk. So I feel like to people and strangers, because this is what it's about, strangers, I feel like they sense that you're closed off, but I don't feel that you actually are closed off at all. They're just not asking the right questions. That's how I would put that. Pile number... Your aesthetic, or like the colours you wear, may be like oceany colours, like blues and purples and greens and colours like that. Some of you guys may have a very naturistic vibe as well, but there's something quite celestial there too. Pile number... Your aura speaks for itself as well, even with people that don't read energy and aren't connected to spirit in that way and are very for the physical world. Like, I feel like your aura does speak for itself. You have a very consuming aura. People feel... You may find people in public, pile number one, just offload onto you or just tell you a lot. Like, you could just be sitting somewhere eating like a sandwich and someone's like telling you about their aunt who's getting on their like last nerve or something, because you... literally you just have this very nurturing vibe, this very healing essence that people just feel comfortable to say all of these things to, and it's not even something like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to this person that's quiet. It's just your aura. People are like drawn to it. You're quite magnetizing, pile one, for sure. Pile number one, please, spirit guides, what do strangers think when they see pile one in public? Oh, 9 of Pentacles. Love that. Yeah, I feel like you're seen as someone who's in your own world, but not in the sense of that person's a loner. It's more in the sense of that person's blissfully happy. Like, that person's in their own Garden of Eden. They're living in a different realm sort of thing. Like, this person's making themselves happy. They don't need X, Y, and Z. Like, this person... Like, you may go out to eat on your own. Or you may do a lot of things that people would be scared to do on their own. You may just be known as someone that likes to be on their own. Or, like... You may go places where people are in groups that feel like they need a friend, and then you go out on your own, you go out to eat on your own, you drink on your own. Like, you may do things like that, and it's out, like, there's no worry of like who's saying this, who's saying that. You're in your own little bubble and you're happy with it. People do have that view of you, whether you go out to eat on your own or you don't. Like, people do just have that view of you, like, this person makes themselves happy, this person makes themselves happy. They're in their own world and they're kind of like generating their own sort of energy, you know what I mean, which can intimidate people sometimes, because it's like, a lot of people will maneuver in that sense of like, how can I get a look in here? What can I show off to them that they'd like? But then it's like, you don't operate on that level of consciousness. So it's like, okay, how would I even approach this person? What is it that they like? What is it that they don't like? And they can already feel that even just trying to show off to you, it wouldn't really suffice. Like, it wouldn't impress you, sort of thing. Yeah, that's something that I'm being told. You may love animals, you may work with animals. A lot of people may know you for that. You may be seen walking dogs, or there's just like an essence here, like, I love animals more than humans. Sometimes, like, you may feel like that sometimes, and that's fine. We've all been there. I say a lot of the time, I wish, like, I just lived on an island and it was just cats, because I just love cats. So you may, I feel like you're empaths, to be honest with you. I feel like if your emotional body is quite strong like that, you would be. And the thing is about empaths, animals are their best friend, because there's no hidden agendas. They're literally seeing their heart and their energy, and it's a lot easier to have a connection with animals in that sense. So you may find that animals are very drawn to you. You're very drawn to animals. You may find a lot of peace there. People may notice that about you. You may even like post on social media and people know about you, like maybe being a vet or having animals or things like that. There's like a feeling of that. There's almost this feeling of like you know, in every Disney movie they're friends with animals and that they're kind of like the odd one out and they're friends. It kind of feels like that in a way. That's something that I'm picking up. You may love like Disney or something like that, I don't know. Pile one. How do strangers view pile one? Oh, we have the devil. Interesting. Pile number one. How do strangers view pile number one? These spirit guides. Two of Swords. You may trigger people sometimes, pile 1, but you literally don't even mean to do it. Like, people will offload. In public, people may offload a lot of their insecurities or project onto you. I'll get into it in a second. Let me just pull one more card. Pile 1. Like, you being in this 9 of Pentacles energy is literally triggering people. 10 of Swords reversed. You have that healing energy, and then we have the Death card, which is transmuting that energy. We literally have the Death card here. Oh, so you're an empath, pile 1. You are an empath. So when people are getting closer and closer to you, the more they're approaching you, or the more they're around you, you're starting a new job. You know, people in the public, you're no longer someone that they're seeing in public anymore. They're having to speak to you, they're being around you. Just your essence alone may trigger them, or people may just use you as a mirror to project because you are such a strong empath, which makes sense with all that water energy being around you and that emotional body. You may be from that pile. I don't know what pile it would have been, and I don't know what pick a card it would have been. I'm sure it's come up more than once, where the closer people would get to you, they had no choice but to transform. If they wanted to come into your inner world, they had to transform being around you, and then it would trigger them and they may run away or project onto you. I feel like that's an essence that may happen. You may even find like bosses, or like just people that are around you may pick at you or like misunderstand you, but you know what it is? They're not even misunderstanding, it's just their own trigger. So you may be somebody that likes to live in their own world, doesn't speak unless they're spoken to, sort of thing. Or you may just be obliviously like moving about doing your own thing, and then someone could be like, that person's very flippant, that person's very arrogant, that person's this person's that. Or you may get people say, oh, that person thinks they're better than anyone else, everybody else. Like, that's what that person thinks. Or that person loves themselves too much. Like, you may get a lot of that because your filter of happiness, your needs, they all come from within, and I feel like you meet them and you work on yourself to meet them, whereas a lot of people in this world, they don't do that. So I feel like with you, it's almost they're looking at you, there's this reflection, and then when you're giving to yourself, they're seeing where they're not giving them to themselves, and then it's triggering like, well, you think you're better than somebody else, you know what I mean? Or even just words that you say, you may have that healing essence in your voice where you'll just say something. I'm hearing Cancer Mercury. Some of you guys may have Cancer Mercury. It doesn't have to be, it just came through. You may say something very nurturing or say something very profound, and then it could like trigger people's beliefs, and then they could like chuck it at you. I feel like when people can't understand you, they'll project onto you, and I feel like you have been a victim of that, where people have then projected onto you. But again, I feel like, why have we got the 10 of Swords reversed? And then we have the Death card at the back of the deck. Okay. Oh my god, people trying to pick your... I feel like people may even try, like... People... I know this is about strangers, but I feel like you may be in situations where people like maybe from your hometown or people online know of you, and then you're continuously shifting because you're continuously doing inner work, because you are this empath. You're doing all of this inner work, you're transforming a lot, and then I feel like people are trying to like mimic you or copy you, or people are trying to pick your brain and try and understand you, but then the minute that they get a leeway in it, the minute that they get a foot in the door, the minute that they start to get on your wavelength or try to understand you, or maybe they just tried to copy you, you've transformed again, and then you're somewhere else, and then people are like, what is going on? And because they can't comprehend the amount of inner work you're doing, it's like, that person's fake, that person's this, that person's that, because you're transforming a lot. That's something that I'm being told as well, that's coming through. I know that's not strangers, but it's something that's coming through. I feel like people, naturally strangers are drawn to you and really drawn to you, really like you. And then I feel like the closer that they get, the ones that are committed to their own self and healing, they'll transform and stand next to you. But then the ones that don't want to do the inner work, the closer they get, it's like you're the sun. And then it kind of like burns them because they have to transform to stand next to you, but then they get scared of transforming because the closer they're getting, the more wounds are being triggered, the more they're being mirrored, and then it's like they may run away again or project onto you. Like, there's a lot of that because you're like empath, like, and you know what empaths do, they can mirror us. Sometimes they can act as a mirror, and I feel like you're heavily like that. And I feel like you've been learning in this lifetime as well to become an empowered empath and not take the words that the people are saying about you on, because I feel like a lot of people have just got triggered and projected onto you. Because they're seeing all of this soft aura and they're like, sweet person. Who sang Sweet Nightingale? Was it Snow White or Cinderella? One of them sings Sweet, Sweet Nightingale, and I know it was Snow White or Cinderella, one of those two. But there's this essence of you coming across like Snow White, very sweet, and then the closer they get and they're having to transform. They're having to. And you know, like the queen, and she's like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And then it's like she's triggered, so she wants to kind of like take Snow White out. Not that anyone's trying to take you out, but it's like, if I can't control you, or if I can't stand next to you, I'm gonna throw rocks. It's just what I'm gonna do. Or I'm going to just project onto you that you not speaking to me was you being arrogant when it was just you in your own world. Or you finding self-love within is you just being too cocky because I'm not doing it for myself and it's triggering me. You know what I mean? Or you putting yourself first when my first initial reaction was that you'd be a pushover. You putting yourself first, well, now I'm going to call you a narcissist, or I'm going to call you that. I feel like you've dealt with that a lot. Like, I feel like I want to protect you, but then I feel like your own energy protects you from these people anyway. Like, I don't even feel like I like naturally myself wants to put my arms around you, like, leave this person alone, but I feel like your energy naturally transforms that around you anyway and keeps you safe, so that the right people will transform with you and stand next to you. But off initial reaction, people, I feel like, do you know the friends that you get super, super close to in this lifetime, and really get close to the core of you? They're like kindred souls, like exactly like you. 100%. Like, they have the same inner world as you. I feel like you're going to meet, there's going to come a time in life where you're going to meet a lot of empaths just like you. Do you go places where there's a lot of people that are just in lower vibrations or dealing with a lot of karma? Or is that just like, I guess, the nature of the world? Like, you've bumped into people like this? Because to stand next to you, people have to come corrected. And a lot of people know they can't do that. So it's like, well, let's pull this person down, or let's at least, you know. But then, do you know what it is? Like, I'm seeing somebody like, oh, this, I don't like this person. They're not, I'm hearing somebody say, I don't like this person. They're not, how do I put this into words? They're not very loving, or they're not very nurturing, or they're not very sweet. And then the closer that they're getting to you, they're actually realizing that you're actually really sweet, really loving. And then you're contradicting what they'd said about you in the first place, because you're not that person anyway, but then it's triggering them that they can't find a fault in you, so they're looking for like a fault. I feel like you've really dealt with some energy vampires, because they're taking over the reading. They're literally taking over the reading. I feel like you have main character energy, but I feel like sometimes you don't realize it, because these people creep in and have tried to dim your light to the point that you would only look or see these type of people, because Spirit's then taking over the reading and going, there's so many people that are inspired by them. There's so many people that literally are like, oh my god, remember that boy or girl and they were wearing this, let me wear that. Oh my god, remember that boy and girl, they were talking about this, that's really interesting, I want to get into it. There's been so many people like that in your life, pal one, but these people have tried to make you only see the negative, only see the dark side of it, so that you feel like you're doing something wrong. Like, you've dealt with a lot of energy vampires like that because you are such an empath. And I feel like these people would want you to think that you're only being triggered. The only initial reaction you're given is that you're being triggered, when there's a lot of people that you're healing to, a lot of people that you're nurturing to, a lot of people that genuinely feel very safe with you, a lot of people that are very much like you. And I felt like maybe for a while you were looking at life through the eyes of like trauma, maybe because people had made you think that these are the only type of people that are out in the world. And you see how it took over a good 8-9 minutes of the reading of people like being triggered, and then Spirit's like, but that's not all it is, because their energy was taking over the reading. And then I'm like, hang on a minute, because I see so much light as well. And then I'm tapping into the light then, and I'm seeing people like, oh my god, that person's so attractive. Oh my god, that person saw this person saw that. But in life, I feel like you were taught and trained to only see the negative, because people wanted you to see that, so they project onto you until that was all that you saw. When there's a lot of people in public that are literally staring at you because they find you attractive, or, you know, really liking your vibe, or really liking what you have to say, or like really intrigued by you. But it's like you almost don't see it because you may be on the defense of people that are like this, getting triggered by you. And Spirit's saying you're coming into a time where you're training yourself to see the light, to see the positive, to see people that are really attracted to you, to see people that want to stand next to you, to see people that are healers just like you. You're training yourself to see the light now and see people that are like you and not have to shelter off in protection from people like this. Because do you see how they started to take over the reading? Until I was like, hang on a minute, wait a minute. Like, that's how I felt. And that's what I feel like you're transforming to see the lighter side. Because a lot of, especially like the way that a lot of people feel so safe with you. Like people that have maybe been bullied, or people that have been hurt by people, like people that have felt like they need to hide their heart. Those people feel so safe with you because real recognizes real. And energies like that recognize each other. And I feel like there's an energy for you to be aware and be open to those people that are doing these good deeds and saying these compliments to you. And I feel like your brain may be like, oh, that person's just saying that to just like, I shouldn't trust this person, I shouldn't trust this person. Like there's an energy of that coming through, and Spirit saying, no, you're at that point where you're realizing your own gifts of clairsentience and empathy, and you're realizing that you can feel people out. You'll know when there's a red flag. Be open to these people coming in the more you step into your essence. Because there's a lot more good than there is bad, but the bad wants you to believe that it's all bad. Do you see how it took over a bit of the reading? Because the bad wants you to think that it's all bad. That's what like negative entities and negative energies are. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be fearful. They want you to be out of your power. Because once you stand in your power, you realize that the light wins anyway, and that doesn't even exist. It's a distortion. That's all it is. And that's like a time that you're coming to. Like that's something that you're starting to realize, that there's a lot of light, a lot of people that really like you. And those people that are getting triggered by you, they just didn't want you to see that. Or they were fearing that you would see that. And I feel like you're coming to a state of consciousness and awareness where you're able to see when people are just chucking trauma at you and chucking triggers at you, and people that are just stepping towards you because they have the same energy as you. You're starting to realize that. Whereas in the past, you may have got swayed like a jellyfish through the ocean. Now you're starting to realize it. I love that, because then we have the Ten of Swords with the swords falling out of his back. Like you may have been out in public and heard like, oh, well, that person's arrogant and that person's this, and you're like, hang on a minute, I'm not like that. Why am I so misunderstood? But they want you to feel misunderstood. They want you to feel like you're the only person like this in the world. Because there obviously isn't only one person like that in the world, because look how many people have probably clicked on pile 1. How many beautiful hearts have clicked on pile number 1? How many beautiful healers have clicked on pile number 1? Beautiful empaths, people that have done the work, people with such beautiful minds. There's so many people like you, but these energies want you to look at life like there isn't, so that you feel isolated. It's reminding me of Harry Potter when Luna Lovegood turns to Harry and then she's like, if I was Voldemort, I'd want you to feel alone and scared, because if you're on your own, you're not much of a threat. Do you see what I mean? Like there's an energy of that coming through. So don't for one second think like I hate human beings. I just want to be with animals. Everybody's like this. No, everybody isn't like that. And there's so many people that really like you. Really like want to be around you. And the more you're blossoming and the more that flower's opening, the more you're realizing that. Because I'm being told you're introverts naturally. You're going to move into a time where you're a bit more extroverted. You're moving into a time where you're a bit more extroverted. And the reason you were introverted in the first place, out of self-protection. It was your way of protecting yourself. Whereas now you're going to be a lot more extroverted. Because being more extroverted with this beautiful energy, you are going to get a lot more people triggered. However, at that point, you're going to see that it's just a trigger and you don't have to take it on. So you're going to be a lot more extroverted moving forward. Or at least you're going through some sort, with the blue card side, I feel like you may be going through some sort of an ascension or shift. That may be causing you to clear out this and looking at the world in that way. So that you can be more extroverted and be more comfortable. Oh my God. Look at the card that just flipped over. You are never alone. Have you been isolating because you've dealt with a lot of people that have just projected onto you like crazy? Because I'm here to say you incarnated with a soul tribe. And there's a lot of people with beautiful hearts like you. Look at them shaped like a heart. You are never alone. There's someone for you, friendship-wise, relationship. Not everybody in the world is bad. Like I said, look how many people clicked on this pile number 1. I love how this has turned into a bit of a guidance reading, but I absolutely love it. I literally love it. You are never alone. And you know, like otters, they sleep holding hands so they don't lose their mate. I read that somewhere. That's really beautiful. I feel like you're learning to open up your heart again. Maybe you've been protecting your heart and staying away from people because it's safer. But you've moved into that state of consciousness where you're aware where you trigger people sometimes, just because people are, you know, you're shining a light on their shade, on their dark parts. But you're coming into a time where you realize what it is now. So you no longer have to take it on as a part of you, which means you no longer need to protect yourself in that way of let's shut off. Because it worked for a certain amount of time until you realize this. But when you realize it and you step into that consciousness and you see how they're projecting, you're able then to move forward in a different energy. And you may have been drawn to two piles, whereas like this was one pile, like the before energy, and then you'll have like another pile. If not, and you were only drawn to this one, that's fine. But I feel like some of you guys may have been drawn to a different pile as well as pile one, because there was a very big message that came through this reading and how it did this whole plot twist. Love that. You've really been doing work for that, like a lot of work for that. Do you know how hard it is, like when you've been like bullied or told to stay out of your light, and then you realize it within yourself and you stand in it? Do you know how like hard it is to like retrain your brain of like having this beautiful heart, having to cover it up and then open it back up again and be confident in yourself? Do you know how strong you have to be to do that? I love you guys. I really do. Pile number one. Their perception of you was never your reality, because their perception was distorted by their own wounds and triggers anyway. Whoever it is that made you feel like you had to hide all of this. You know, like Belle when she's singing through the thing and she's like, I want so much more than this pretentious town, I think she says. Like she's looking at them like, I don't fit in with you, I don't fit in with you, I don't fit in anywhere. But she did fit in, you know what I mean, somewhere. And that's you guys too. These distortions want you to make you feel like, I hate human beings, I only love animals, I don't want to be around people, because, again, like Luna Lovegood said, when you're on your own, you're not as much as a threat. You're such a light. Don't let these people keep it pertained to, like, you know, a tiny little corner. You're meant to shine it out. If it makes them uncomfortable, that's good. If they're getting triggered, that's good. It's good that they're doing that, because it's showing them whether there's their own wounding where they can transform it, you know. We have watch your words. This is about talking kindly to yourself is what I'm being told. Talking kindly to yourself. I'm going to get into it now. Let me just lay one more card. Pile number one, how do strangers see my pile ones in public? I've noticed, because I've been going through a shift of my own recently. See how I'm talking to you like a friend? And I've probably done it in other readings too. It's just your energy. You make people feel so safe because you have such a beautiful heart. But I've been going through a shift recently, and no matter what reading it is, if it's like a reading like this where it's just meant to be a simple answer, everything that's just coming through is just guidance, like more than what the question asks for. That's why I guess it's going into a guidance reading, because just literally I don't know whether I'm just like activating a part of me, or maybe it's just the type of pick of cards maybe I should stick to, or maybe it's just the way that I read. I have to bring that level of guidance through, but bringing like guidance and messages from the higher realms, it's just coming through even in a reading where it's like, this is how people view you. There's more. I won't just talk about the seed, I'll talk about the stem and the apple and everything, and that's how it's coming through lately since this ascension. Well, I wouldn't call it an ascension, it's just a part of the same ascension I've been on for years, but I found that happening. I guess it's just because I'm that type of reader, I think. See, do you notice how I'm just talking to you like a friend? Literally, it's your energy, it's just the way that you are. You feel very safe. We have embraced the in-between. You're in between shifts right now. You're in between shifts right now where you're stepping into your power, and the way that people will view you moving forward is not the same as it was before. That's why I felt like you may have been drawn to two piles. We also have Koala Spirit. Koala Spirit has a plan. Beautiful, beautiful. Let me move this over. Yeah, you're going to step into a time where you're a lot more vocal out in public than you usually are. I feel like you may just, like, again, hide yourself in the sense of, oh, this person's going to say this about me, or this person's going to do this, or blah, blah, blah. And then you'll, like, not be as confident out in public. And then I just feel like you're stepping into a time with this embrace the in-between, and Spirit has a plan. You're stepping into a time where you're alchemizing, you're going to be a lot more vocal. I'm not saying you're going to be the most extroverted person ever, because I feel like it's not really in your nature to be the most extroverted person. I feel like you will still be that very airy, very floaty person. However, it's just going to be a little bit more bold, and you're just going to shine it out unapologetically. But there's an energy here where you may have been attacking your own self lately, going through this transformation with Watch Your Words. Like, I hate other human beings, I don't want to be around human beings, I prefer to be with animals, or maybe just talking bad to yourself, or telling yourself, if I go out, someone's going to judge me, or someone's going to do this, or someone's going to do that. That's how people want you to feel. That's how this energy wants you to feel. But you're transforming it. And the reason that it's been coming up lately is that you become aware of it, so you can transform it and stand in your essence unapologetically. Because as a healer, we are going to trigger people. When you heal wounds, you're not aware that the wound is there unless it's triggered. So that's the way of the empath and the way of the healer. We are going to trigger people. And I know it's not something that's nice to hear. Like, I struggle with it sometimes myself, but it's for, like, the greater good, especially when you're not doing anything but just being yourself and people are getting triggered by it. You know what I mean? Like, just say what you need to say. Talk the way you want, like, the way that you want to talk. Obviously, don't be rude, but I don't feel like I need to say that. It's not in your nature to be rude. Just own who you are. Believe in your own source, and don't listen to these negative little things, because there's a lot more light than there is dark. You know what I mean? That's something that I'm being told to say. I love how this turned into a guidance reading towards the end. Spirit has a plan. You're going through a shift right now, 100%. And the back of the deck, we have Spirit has your back. That's why it's turned into a guidance reading as well. I feel like Spirit's coming through, like, helping you through this transition. I feel like you may be going through a state of disempowerment right now. Completely fine. It's needed for you to feel these feelings and transmute them once and for all, so you can get out there and do what you want to do without having to worry about the naysayers, or these people trying to dim your light. You're supposed to shine. That's why you're here, is what I'm being told. So your energy moving forward, about how strangers would describe you, would be a little bit different. But all in all, you make people feel safe. I feel like people find you very naturally attractive. The way that, like, I'm being told, if people hear you speak, the way your face lights up when you speak, and the way that you have these mannerisms when you speak, people find them very attractive as well. There's something about a singing voice, or just the way that you speak. There's something very silky about the way that you speak. You may have, like, a lot of... you may have, like, water energy in your second house, Cancer in your second house, Scorpio in your second house, you know, energies like that. Again, you may have, like, Cancer, Mercury, Pisces, Mercury, just things like that is what I'm being told as well. There's something about the way that you speak and the way that you talk. Also, people find you very sexually attractive too. I have to say that. Like, I feel like when you're out in public, you may not even realize it, but I feel like people do notice that about you. Because I feel like you sit in your sacral chakra very well, and the embodiment of your sensuality, I feel like you sit in it very well, and that's something that some people are drawn to as well. Yeah, some of you have really beautiful hair as well. There's something about your hair. You may be like a Leo rising, you may have, like, Magha sun, Magha moon, Magha ascendant. Like, there's just this energy of your hair being very beautiful, or being a staple of who you are, or something that's noticeable when you're out and about. Yeah. So who you are when people, like, when strangers see you out in public, is transforming. It's literally transforming right now. Very interesting. That's why the Death card was at the back of the deck. And then we have the Six of Swords here as well. It's like releasing baggage. What do we have behind the Six of Swords? High Priestess. Yeah, I think you're going through a spiritual awakening right now. Or just a big shift of shadow work. Unclogging. Getting rid of this. Very interesting. So pile one, that's what I had for you. I really hope that you enjoyed, and I hope it resonated, and I hope I was able to bring clarity to some things. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how strangers view you when you're out in public. So you guys chose the Lion soapstone. I'm going to pop that. It looks a bit like a polar bear, doesn't it? Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. I feel like it looks like a polar bear. Anyway, you guys chose the Lion soapstone. I'm going to pop it up in the corner. And we are going to get straight in. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we'll move in with the oracle cards. It is, you know, coming into summer now, and my windows are going to be open for the next couple of months because, you know, I get hot when I'm channeling, and it's hot where I work, and there'll probably be a bit of background noise, but it should be fine. I mean, it was fine last year, so it should be fine now. I'm just letting you guys know. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, tap me into the collective of my pile number 2. How do strangers view my pile 2s? How do strangers view my pile number 2? First of all, I just feel like the way that you dress is really cool. Like, I'm hearing you're fashionistas. No matter what, like, I just feel like the way that you dress is really good, and I feel like you stand out. Like, there's something about you making outfits your own. It could just be your essence and your aura. Sometimes people just have that aura where no matter what they wear, it just looks good because it's them, aka Rihanna. You know what I mean? Like, you'll see people try and dress like Rihanna, and no offense, it's not necessarily the outfit itself, really. It's the person wearing it, because of the embodiment that Rihanna has when she wears things. It's just very confident. So I feel like it's more so the person that you are, maybe, or the way you wear it, or just the confidence that you have when you wear it, or at least the confidence that you give off. Maybe the way you walk, maybe the way you talk, maybe the way you carry yourself. There's something very endearing about you, and very and it's funny. It's not in a way like, I feel like sometimes people could obviously get triggered, like, oh, this person thinks they're this person thinks they're that. But there's such a kind nature shining out from you anyway. I don't feel like a lot of people would even think that. I feel like you're very endearing. Like, you're someone that's very... I know you chose the lion, and I know, like, the lion is, like, Leo, but you have, like, a Leo heart, or, like, a fire heart. I feel like you may have, like, a fire Venus. Like, there's just this energy of you, the way you connect with people, like... It's warm, but not in the sense where it burns people, like, because people can tell you're very good natured, and I feel like that comes across. You may smile a lot, or you may be coming into a time where you smile a lot, I'm being told, but I feel like you just have a very bright face, the way you light up, and I feel like you're very, it's like you're bold but soft at the same time. Like, you really beautifully balanced out the masculine energy, the feminine energy. You know what your boundaries are, and you know what you're worth. But you also have a very nurturing side, and you are quite empathic, and there's such a beautiful blend here. I feel like who you are tapping into this reading, like, you're really stepping into yourself. You really know who you are, and you've balanced a lot of your energy out in a very beautiful way. I'm hearing congratulations, so I don't know if you just began stepping into who you are, or like began feeling confident in yourself. There's like a congratulations coming through, like I don't know whether you've just had a breakthrough of some sort. Like, there's a feeling of that coming through. Let's get in. I haven't even pulled the cards yet. Let's get in. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2. How do strangers view pile 2? How do strangers view my pile 2s? How do strangers view pile 2s when they're out in public? Your cards just jumped out of my hands. 2 seconds. One of them hopped onto the table. Where's the other one gone? Got it. King of Cups. Oh, you give off a bit of like a fierce... You give off like a fierce, nurturing mama bear, papa bear energy. Like a regal... Why are they out of the camera? Like a very regal leadership sort of vibe. Like, I don't know. Like, I'll lay the other 2 cards, we'll get into it, but it's like you're empathic. We have the water here, but your emotions aren't controlling you. You're controlling your emotions. You've mastered your emotions with this King of Cups. So what I'm being told is it's like, you're like it's almost like you're the middleman. You're like a middleman for people. People can come to you and they know you'll give good, solid advice. And there's such a genuine energy about you that you're not going to be sly or anything like that. People feel comfortable with you. You may have like a lot of Libra in your chart, because I feel like you, or Virgo's coming through as well. Because look at the three of Pentacles, people learning from this guy here. Like, yeah, let me leave the cards. Hang on. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 2. How do people in public view pile 2? How do strangers view pile 2 in public? Queen of Pentacles. Love this. You're really respected when you're out in public. You're really, really respected. Because you give off the air that you're Look at this. We have the Empress. You are very respected when you're out in public. People really like you. You may have like Libra Venus. Not Libra Venus. You may if it came out my mouth. But Libra Rising is what I meant. Not Libra Venus. You may have it though. Yeah, you may have Libra Rising. Again, Libra Venus. Like, people really like you. Let me get into it. 4 wands at the back of the deck as well. What beautiful cards. Okay, how do strangers view my pile 2's Spirit Guides? Why have we got the King of Cups and the 3 of Pentacles here? You seem like you're the type of person that has it all together. Like, you feel very stable in your energy. It's like you're fire in a bottle, but it's contained in a very beautiful way, which does make me think of Leo, because, you know, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but like with fire energy, when it's fixed, it's more contained. And I just feel like you very much stand in your own essence and kind of like who you are. You're not someone that's like too brash or over the top or overbearing. You know what I mean? You're not like that. It's very, very contained. You may have a lot of fire, but then it's surrounded by a lot of water to mellow it out. Or you may have a lot of earth energy in your chart as well. I almost feel like there's fire in the middle and then it's surrounded by a sea of water, but it could be earth, because we do have the Queen of Pentacles here, and the Empress here, like that, you know, Taurus energy coming through. You seem so level-headed, like you're an old wise soul that people can just come to for advice, and it's not even anything you say, because we're talking about strangers in public. Like, you could be in a store getting a beverage, and I just feel like it's just the essence, because the thing is, people don't realize when we hold an essence and we hold ourselves to a certain standard, the universe and people around us are going to catch on to that and kind of respond to that. That's how it works. That's how we manifest. It's how we become something. And I just feel like you know exactly who you are, and I feel like you're very level-headed, and I feel like you're aware of your own power. So because of that, people are seeing that within you, and people are either wanting to come to you for advice or just feeling like you're the type of person they could come to for advice, but you just have this regal essence where people can come to you and people respect you just because you're giving off the energy of respect. They may not even read energy, they may not be able to intuitively pick up on that, but they can feel the energy from you whether or not, because, you know, auras are real, energies are real. They can feel that, pick up on it, and see that. You're a very self-sufficient person with this Queen of Pentacles. We have the Empress here. I feel like you very much have created your own garden. You know, get your own crops. Like, I feel like you give off that energy of abundance. This is who I am. Very high maintenance, but not in a cocky way. People may try and project onto you it's a cocky way, because we always are going to trigger someone being who we are. People are always going to have those perceptions, and if people aren't giving that love to themselves, they may think, excuse me, you know, this person, they love themselves too much, blah blah blah. And I don't think it's that. I think you're very balanced with a very beautiful heart, but you're high maintenance because you know who you are, you know what you deserve, and people naturally then will respond to that, which I love. I literally love this very, very much. Why have we got the Queen of Pentacles here? You give off like mother bear, papa bear energy. And I always say this, and I've realized it myself doing my own like inner child healing and stuff like that. But when we heal the inner child, the inner teenager, or when we're actively healing the inner child or the inner teenager, what then trickles in and the energy we start to embody is the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. And we naturally, it's not that our hearts go from being soft to hard, but our hearts go from being very big and very giving to having a purpose. And our hearts become very protective of our own and protective of people. And I even noticed it within myself. Like, I was very, I was quite like fearful of people and stuff like that. But then what happened when I was healing my inner child and healing all of that, what came to me then was like, the embodiment of the Divine Mother. And especially for me being a woman in this lifetime, I felt this need to protect other women and be there for other women like they were my own, and wrap them up like around me. And I had that motherly instinct just like ignite within me while healing my inner child and inner teenager. And it was like not this like fury, it was a fire that just kind of ignited within me. But it wasn't like I'm gonna slay all the men, like it wasn't like that. It was just that I know that there are threats out there, and I want to align with like other women, and I want to stand next to other women, and I want to empower other women. Like it was just ignited within me. And I feel like you have that male, female, non-binary, whatever you are, like I just feel like you have this like mother bear, papa bear, elder energy of like protecting the tribe, protecting my own. Like you have that naturally installed within you, whether you had to work to get it or whether it's always been within you. And I just feel you naturally just ooze that and hold that within you, which I love. And people love that too. And people respond to that because people I feel safe with you. Very much so. Why have we got the Four of Wands at the back of the deck, please, Spirit? You've built this. This is why we've got the Four of Wands. I don't think... Have you just come from pile 1? Because I said to pile 1, you may have been drawn to another pile, and pile 2 is what they may have been drawn to. Because what I'm being shown, it doesn't matter if you weren't, but what I'm being shown is with the Empress card here, and she builds that abundance. She knows who she is. She waits for that energy. She doesn't worry. With the Queen of Pentacles, that's how she built the abundance, with that Queen of Pentacles energy and taming her emotions to work for her. And then we have the Four of Wands. Like, when we think of the number 4, it's like a builder number. Building it. I've created this. It wasn't always like this. I became this. So I feel like some of you guys came from pile 1. If you were drawn to pile 1, I feel like that would be the past energy, and then this would be the future energy. Because there are synchronicities here that I'm picking up on for sure. People really like you. And I'm being told your laugh is infectious. Something about your laugh. Do you have like a funny laugh, or just like a loud laugh, or are you always cracking jokes? Are you a humorous person? Do you have some Cancer in your chart? Cancer moon? Cancer Venus? I don't know. There's like there's a funniness to you. I find people with a lot of water energy are really funny, and they use humor sometimes as a way to like lighten energy or heal. Because healing isn't just like Reiki healing. Healing is like words of affirmation, being there for people, nurturing people. But healing is also humor. And I feel like a lot of comedians, they'll have like a lot of like Cancer energy. I found like it's another way of nurturing. It's just something that I found through my own research, but that's just something that I'm picking up from you guys. Like, you're very funny. You know how to bring light into the situation, have fun in the situation. And one thing that I feel like people view about you as well is that you don't take life too seriously. I feel like people would be like, wow, that person would be really fun to be around, because they don't take life too seriously. They're very fun. They're very out there. They're like a burst of energy, and I love it. They're very... But it's beautiful because you have that, but then you know when to tame yourself. There's a grounded essence to it. The tree can grow and sway in the wind as high as it wants, but it's rooted in the ground. And I feel like you're rooted in something. You keep your wits about you because you've learned how to balance, you know, the masculine and feminine energies within yourself. 100%. There's, I've used this analogy before. I can't remember what pick a card it was, but on Friends, if you've ever watched it, Ross and Chandler had a friend called Gandalf, and Gandalf was supposed to be really fun, and like when they'd go on nights out with him, they'd do the craziest stuff, and Gandalf was just this really funny person that you never really meet on the show, and they like literally tooted his horn, like they thought he was the greatest person ever, because how fun he was and the fun they'd get up to when they were around him. Like, nights out weren't funny without him. I feel like you're that type of person. I feel like you're a light in a lot of people's lives, and I feel like you're a saving grace, but not in the sense where you're self-sacrificing to be that saving grace. I just feel like you're a bit of a lighthouse in the dark for people. And you're an inspiration to embody what they fear to embody too. Your own little quirks and stuff, I feel like they make you you, and I feel like you own them very beautifully. And I feel like people are so drawn to that. and love that. And they may have been quirks that you were told to hide at one point. If you are coming from a pile number 1 energy, it could, you could have been bullied out of it, or people projected onto you. Oh, you're shining too bright. It's, dim that for me, please. And maybe you did in the past because you've built yourself up to be this way. And you never lost your light or your heart, which is so beautiful. Never once. It just gained like a new purpose. Pile 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. How do strangers view my pile 2s? We have the koi fish. There is always enough. Love this. First of all, I feel like you're aware that you are enough as you are. You don't need to become anything for anyone to want you. I feel like you're very aware that you are enough. The person that you are is enough. 100% aware of that. But I feel like that's also something you're teaching people, to be empowered in their own essence, to know that they are enough and they don't need to be anything or hide anything. Them just being them is enough. And they should feel empowered in who they are. I feel like that's something that you naturally teach people, even out in public. Like, I feel like people get inspired by you naturally. Like, I just feel like you're out, you may tell a funny joke, you may be very charismatic, and then people go home and be like, that person was just really genuine, and that person was wearing those clothes, and they look really cool. And you don't really see people dressed like that, and you don't really see people talking about things like that. People are scared to talk about things like that, but they did. So I think I want to do that too. I feel like you're here to empower people in this lifetime to step into who they are. That's why you chose the Lion Soap Zone, to be courageous, to stand in who they are. Even if they are like a misfit, you know what I mean? It's fine. I'm hearing the song So Am I by Ava Max. Do you ever feel like a misfit? Everything about you is dark and twisted. It's okay. I don't know the next bit, but then she kind of sings like, well, so am I, sort of thing. We have the Coyote Spirit, Trust in Divine Detours. We have that here. I'm going to lay these cards and actually read them like I do a tarot, so wait until I lay them and I'll continue to channel. But pile 2, please, spirit guides. Pile 2. We have the cat spirit as well. Claim your independence. Love that. Some of you guys may be waking in like the dark feminine within yourself as well. Whether you're male or female, you just may be doing that. Just awakening that within yourself. Pile. Oh my god, that card just ran away. Let me grab it. It's literally just ran. Oh, okay. We have the skunk spirit. Know your worth. Know your worth. Literally, I feel like you've realized who you are. That's how you're in this Empress energy. And I feel like you help people realize who they are and own who they are and know their worth. We have to take the lead at the back of the deck. I was saying you have that leadership energy. Maybe you had to grow into it, which was all part of your journey. Some of you have always had it. Some of you had to grow into it. But I feel like you're here to help people grow into it themselves. Coyote Spirit. Why do we have Trust in Divine Detours? Coyote Spirit. The 6 and the 1's adding up to 7 here, and it's underneath the 3 of Pentacles. So some of you may go into like spiritual teaching or guiding or just being like a mentor for people in that sense. Yeah, I feel like some of you may, or some of you guys may be like if you're coming from pile number 1, like I feel like some of you are, you have been with Trust in Divine Detours. You would have been one way and then you've been transforming to step into this energy, but you had to go through that shift first. And I feel like that's why it's coming through. You've had to go through a lot of shifts to become this person, I'm being told. Look at all this red and orangey energy as well. Embodying the lower chakras. Maybe in the past you always embodied the higher chakras, and now you're bringing these into effect. Claim your independence and know your worth. Like, I love how they've come out, because I feel like that's the type of person you are. I'm hearing Neo, Miss Independent. Like, you're seen as somebody very independent. That person doesn't need anybody. I'm hearing independent women. Beyonce as well. I'm not Beyonce, Destiny's Child as well. Yeah, people really look up to you. People really look up to you as some sort of like leader or mentor or something like that. people really, and I feel like being around you remind me as well of, like, I had this friend, shout out Becca if you're watching, she's probably not watching, she's not too into spiritual stuff, but I had this friend, right, and I hid a lot of my quirks and stuff for a really long time, and I met this friend and I got really close with her when I was probably at one of the lowest points in my life as well. Like, I just was so detached from who I was, and just being friends with her, and she was such a quirky, like, loud, funny person. She did not care what people thought about her. She said the craziest things, and she was such an independent person anyway, and just being around her, and she was such a lovely girl as well. I really do love her, but being around her made me open up to my own quirks and just stand in them unapologetically anyway. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't stay close for super long. It was maybe like 3 years. I mean, that's kind of long, I guess, until we kind of both went our separate ways in a very beautiful way. I still speak with her, but she taught me so much about just being myself and being authentic anyway, and just wouldn't judge that side of myself because she was like that anyway. And I just feel like you're that friend as well that help people just be themselves and hold space for people to just own their quirks and be funny and be authentic as a human being, because human beings are flawed and we do make mistakes, and owning up to that. And I just feel like you're that type of person, and I feel like people look to you as that type of person. I also feel like you're really funny. You really bring light to situations. Bit of a ray of sunshine. May have a lot of Leo in your chart. That's probably why you were drawn to the Lion soapstone as well. Beautiful energy. I feel like you're a light to people. I feel like people view you like a leader, very regal, like a leader. That's how people view you out in public, and it's just the energy you possess. Very beautiful energy, pile number 2. So that's what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed and this resonated. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if it did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how strangers view you in public. Now before I get into the reading, Pile 3, when I was like at the beginning, when I do the intro, I will ask Spirit to guide me to what crystals to use for each pile. And when I was like, okay, Pile 3, what crystal should I use for Pile 3? Before I even picked up any crystal, because sometimes I'll put my hands over them and see which one kind of like is sending me there with their energy. And before I could even do anything like that, I just kept hearing Billie Eilish's song Ocean Eyes playing over and over. So I don't know if it's a song you play, or it could be to do with the reading, but I just kept hearing Ocean Eyes, and then straight away I just thought, well, obviously Ocean Jasper. I'm obviously going to pick that crystal if I'm hearing Ocean Eyes. So we'll get into why that is, but yeah, that's why you have the Ocean Jasper as your crystal. So I'm going to pop it up here, and we're going to get straight in. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we'll move in with the oracle cards. So pile number 3, yeah, straight away it's to do with the eyes. I feel like that's something people notice about you in public. You either do really good eye makeup, or you just have very beautiful eyes and being told glassy. Some of you guys have very glassy eyes. Some of you guys have very bright eyes, deep set eyes. You may have a lot of Scorpio, Cancer in your chart. Like, there's just this very I just like your eyes. Like, I feel like that's what Spirit's making me feel. Like you have these beautiful eyes, and like they say, eyes are the windows to the soul, and I just feel like you really deeply penetrate people. There's like an intensity to you, and you just deeply kind of like read people. You deeply tap into people, even if you don't mind doing it, like you don't mean to do it. It's just you and your essence. And I feel like people may either avoid eye contact with you, or you may feel people not wanting to make eye contact with you, and then like you intuitively pick up on it, and then you don't make eye contact with them. But there's just this energy of people not wanting to make too much eye contact with you, because you do see through people, and you have this intensity about you as well. You have a beautiful like darky purple blue aura coming around you as well. That's something that I'm being told. There's an intensity here. Let's get into it. Pile 3. How do strangers feel when they see my Pile 3 in public, please, Spirit guides? How do strangers feel when they see my Pile 3s in public? Yeah, I'm hearing doe eyes. Like you have doe eyes. Big eyes. Pile 3. How do strangers feel when they see my Pile 3s in public? Oh my god, you read people. You have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, I feel, you know. And then the death card pops out. Oh, that's quite funny. The death card pops out as they say Scorpio. 8th house energy. 9 of Pentacles. You have Pluto in the 1st house. Pile 3. Judgment. Alright, okay. 7 of Swords reversed at the back of the deck. People cannot lie to you, pile 3. But you may find people that are just up to no good would avoid you. People cannot lie to you with the 7 of Swords reversed. And you see through people. And I think that with the 7 of Swords reversed coming up at the back of the deck, it's like, when we look at that, that can sometimes relate to like imposter syndrome. People not feeling that they are all that they say they are, or they're not deserving of something, beating themselves up. Like there's like a feeling of that, and it's like you bring out, or not even by doing anything sometimes, or maybe it's just the questions you ask, like you see through people, you see through people's demeanor. Like I feel like you may be like into psychology, you may be therapists, counselors, things like that, or you may be getting into it, you may have like a master's in it, degree in it, or something like that, because you can really like, it's just ingrained in you. I feel like you've done it in past lives, because you can just really see through a lot of lies, a lot of smoke and mirrors. And I feel like people can sometimes be quite afraid of that. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes people may be a bit afraid, like, oh my god, this person's not, you may be like a very empowered empath, like someone that just is not taking ish, like narcissist's worst nightmare. Like it just feels like that. Like you see through people, like, okay, this person's being really loud and really cocky, but I can feel their insecurities though. You know what I mean? Or this person keeps repeating themselves and being unsure, and it's because they don't believe in themselves, and I can feel that. And I feel like you know how to use certain words to either bring out the best in people, or if you wanted to step into the darker energies, bring out the worst in people if you wanted to. Like I feel like you'd be someone in an argument that could just annihilate somebody. Like you're that type of person. I feel like people don't want to go toe to toe with you. Yeah, 100%. I feel like you're not somebody to be messed with, and I feel like that's how people view you in public. Like, I'm not going to mess with this person. And sometimes people may question themselves, why don't I want to mess with this person? But it's like their higher self, like, just don't. Like, just not, you're not going to win this. Like, just don't bother. Don't bother wearing the mask. And the thing is, a lot of people are walking around with masks on, and I feel like you just see beyond the physical. So, you know, the mask isn't there then. You can see beyond that very well. You're so deep as a person. That's why you have the ocean jasper, like when, you know, the ocean goes very deep, and I feel like you can just go into like these deep waters. And I feel like people with a lot of Pluto, Scorpio, you know, 8th house energy they can swim right to the dirty, musky waters at the bottom. And it's not that other people can, it's just that other people don't want to go down there in case they see something they don't want to see. But you guys aren't afraid of the dark, so you'll swim down there all you want, because, you know, you have that energy of, once I understand it, I can dissect it. It's not scary anymore. And I'm not really scared of much. You know what I mean? Fear's an illusion. So you just have that energy anyway, where you naturally like can reside there and go down there. And you may even ask questions where people are like, I don't even want to talk about this. You know what I mean? Like my friend Naomi, if you're watching, hey Nye, her boyfriend is very scared of like anything to do with spirituality, like tarot, like anything like that. And whenever she mentions things that I do for my work and stuff like that to him, he's like, let's not talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Like, let's not speak of it. I'm scared of it. Like, I feel like you have no problem like just talking about all of these things that people may fear. You may live in a town or somewhere where people don't really believe in what you do, so then they might be like, oh, there's that person and maybe they speak to spirit, or, you know, people may just be very surface level, and then you're that like psychology person and people are like, oh my god, she's just gonna like read me to filth, or this person said they read body language and now I don't know how to move my arms. You know what I mean? Like, there's a feeling like that about you, and I don't know why it's coming through, but it's just enough funny at the same time. It's intimidating to some, intriguing to others, which is like quite interesting. Why do we have the six of swords with the death card? Yeah, it's like it's like people's fears and wounds and things that they don't want to say out loud, that they don't want to show people. it's like brushing it under the carpet and you're the carpet cleaner. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, you naturally like look under carpets anyway, you have no problem, and to you it's just like part of like a daily conversation with you. Like, you'll naturally just lift up the carpet, no fear, and then people are like, no, like it feels like that, because with the Six of Pentacles and baggage, it's like people would rather take their baggage with them, and I just feel like you're here to kind of transform it. There's such an intensity coming from you. Like, you are really clairvoyant as well, I have to say that. Super clairvoyant. You may say things to people. Are you like, what's her name from Long Island Medium or whatever it's called? Is her name Teresa? Is she watching this? Because she goes like in to like get a bagel or something, and then she's like, oh, by the way, your grandfather is here and he wants to pass on a message, and people are shook. And I just in ways feel like that's you. Like, you may connect to spirit like that and be like, by the way, I'm picking up this for you, and then, you know, they're like, whoa, like what on earth? You may be like that. Oh, it's just the natural intensity that you have. And it's alluring to some, you know. I feel like some people are like really, they find that really alluring. Very alluring. Very interesting in it. It's almost like I feel like you embody like the darker side of you very well, in a way that it's like, my shadow doesn't control me, I control my shadow. My fears don't control me, I control my fears. Because when we admit to our weaknesses, they no longer have control over us. When we admit to the parts of ourselves that aren't the lightest or brightest, we then have control of ourselves. And in this society, there's a lot of like bypassing our shadow. Like, we don't want to talk about where we mess up. We don't want to talk about these things. We don't want to talk about our fears or our insecurities, because it's like we need to be perfect all the time. We have to be good people all the time. Like, we have this very big moral compass, and that's great to have that, but there are parts of us sometimes that get pissed off by people, and we have that part of ourselves that can get jealous and can be a little bit vindictive sometimes, and can say something bad in an argument that we didn't mean to. But a lot of people don't want to own it, because they want to stay in the light. I'm a good person. But the more we run away from our shadow, the more it has control over us. And I feel like you're very much connected to your shadow. Yeah, this is a part of me. I'm not scared of it. Yes, I have got these negative traits. I'm not scared of it, though. I choose to act out of my lighter side. I choose to act with integrity. But I do have these things. I'm not going to fear it. And you have these things, too. And I can bring up these things in you, too. Because, like, they're a part of you. And I can see them. And because you can naturally see them in people like, oh, my God. You know, why are you mentioning this? You know what I mean? I saw this funny TikTok the other day, and it was like, when me out in public, when my inner therapist comes out. And I don't know if you know of this celebrity in the UK. Well, she's like well known in the UK. Her name's Kim Woodburn, and she's talking to this girl, and she's like, I think you're a very sad lady. And then she's like, I'm okay. And then she's like, I think you have a deep sadness inside of your heart. And then she's like, she's not even asking for it, but she's just saying it naturally. And it's like a funny meme, but I feel like you have that within you, and you can go so deep that it almost like scares people as well. Why do we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Judgment card here? Please, spirit guides, for how people see them in public. Why do we have the Nine of Pentacles? Oh my God, you're seen as someone that just does not give an F what people think, and because of that, you're seen as someone that's very happy with who they are. You're seen as someone that like will just say what they need to say. I don't care. And I don't mean like you're mean to people, not in that sense. Don't take it in that way. But I feel like people are going to judge anyway. I'm just going to do what I want. Like, people are just going to judge. I'm just going to be the person that I am anyway. I really don't care what X, Y, and Z are saying about me. You may have even thought, I don't really care to watch this video. I don't really care what people think of me. Sorry for the noise, guys. This is an aeroplane. But you may have thought that before clicking on the video. I really don't care. I just fancy watching this pick a card. Or maybe I'm drawn to this pick a card. But honestly, I'm not fussed how people think of me. And I feel like people do see you as being in a state of bliss there. Because ignorance is bliss in ways. And it's not that you're ignorant to other people's opinions. It's like you're aware anyway. But you're going to do you anyway. You're not going to allow them to infiltrate who you are. So people see you then as this Nine of Pentacles, being blissful in who you are. Why have we got the Judgment card here, spirit guides? Why is this cropping up as well on how people view? Do people know you as working for spirit? Are you quite vocal about that when you're out? Because there's this essence of like you're quite protected, or people feel like you work with. There's a feeling of people feeling like you work with spirit. 100%. But it's like, and also a sense of like, I don't get it. And you've risen above the judgment of others, and people feel like that. Like, I could say something that people could even, this is the thing, when people think that they can like bully someone or project onto someone and they'll take it, they'll do it. But when someone can feel that they can project onto someone and they're not going to care, they're not going to bother, they're not even going to try, because they know they're going to reach a dead end, they're not going to take it on. People see you as that type of person of like, this person's in their element. Naturally, I would make them dim their light because it intimidates me, but I know I don't really stand a chance here at all. Or they may try and realize like, oh, this person's really seeing through me or hitting me with fact. Because you're very good in a debate and an argument, I'm being told. And then people will back off quite quickly. Because it's like, I'm not going to win this. I'm not going to win this at all. You know what I mean? Like, there's a feeling of that. I'm hearing, oh, what's it called? The song Amy, the Britney Spears song. And I don't know what it was called, but it was like, love me, hate me, say what you want about me, but all of the girls and all of the boys are begging to F-U-C-K me. Obviously you can look at the letters, the F-U-C-K me. You couldn't see what that means, but that was like a really controversial song for it. But I really, really love that song by Britney Spears. Something Amy, it's called. Could even be called If You Seek Amy if you want to listen to it, but it's a Britney Spears song. Yeah, and even in the song, people are like, she's saying like, people are talking about her like, oh, tell me, have you seen her? I just want to go to the party that she's gonna go to, and things like that. Like, there's a feeling of that coming through. You're gonna start seeing flies here and there in my videos, because it's summertime and my windows are open now. And there's a fly swinging around, and I forgot that they like to do that when I'm filming. So you may start seeing one or two when they come in through the window. I was actually, am I using these? No. I was actually in here the other day, sorting out some emails and stuff, because I've been having an issue with my emails. And the biggest bumblebee came in. I've never seen the like. It was probably a queen bee or something like that. Might not have been. It was just really big. The biggest bumblebee ever, and it wouldn't leave. And I just left the windows open for it, but it was like attacking me. I was laying under the quilt, and it was just swinging down, swooping down on me, as if I, like, you know, killed its children or something. And I hadn't. I was just answering my emails, and it was trying to attack me. And then I had to run out. Took over my room. What do we have here? Grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith. I'm gonna lay these cards and then channel them. So let me just get these cards out, and then I'll tell you the messages from them. Because you embody the dark and light as well. You may have people like, oh, this person's a narcissist. This person, when people are triggered by you now, this person's a dark person. This person is selfish. This person is that. But I feel like you're aware that light and dark are both needed to embody, to be balanced in this lifetime. And just by being in the light, it's bypassing in ways, not that I mean like dark emotions or anything like that, but you need to understand your shadow and dissect it. You have to do shadow work to attain any source of enlightenment in ways or gratification in your life, because otherwise you're going to be dragged down by your subconscious, and your shadow self is going to keep mirroring these wounds until you heal them. You're so aware of this. Like, super aware of this, and people may like misunderstand that, because I feel like you can be misunderstood. Pile 3, but I feel like you don't care though. It's like, I really don't care though. The people that get it, the girls that get it, the girls that don't. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Like, you don't mind either way. Oh, we have the Panther. Why can't I speak? Panther spirit, claim your power. Reclaim your power even. Love that. 2 more cards, please, spirits. I can channel these. How do people in public... Oh my god, your cards are running away. Am I using these now? How... Sorry for the noise outside, guys. How do people in public see my pile 3s? The Hawk spirit, let spirit be your guide. I feel like you move with your intuition. Look at the darker energies on these cards as well. Love that. Pile. A lot of people will say like, oh, embodying the Lilith energy, Siren energy, the darker feminine energy. But it's like, I guess in ways it's become a little bit of a trend where people are just saying it and trying to like embody it, like in the sense of it being a trend. Whereas I feel like you just naturally have it. Do you understand what I mean? I feel like you naturally have it because it has become a trend. Like, I'm a siren, I'm this and I'm that. And that's cool, especially if you feel that you are. But I feel like for you guys, Pal 3, you really are that. It's just second nature to you. You just are that. You haven't had to become it. You just have always had that there within you. 100%. We have the koala spirit. Spirit has a plan. Hang on a second. Am I smelling burning? Sorry guys, I had to cut the camera then. I could smell burning. I think it's coming from outside. I think so anyway. I've checked everywhere. There's no burning anywhere. We have the bee spirit. Oh my god, I was just talking about bees. The bee that came in through my window. We have bee spirit here. Sweet results await. The bee or the bumblebee may be a spirit animal for someone because that's twice it's come up. Once for me, and then in the cards, maybe a totem of some sort, or like you may wake up with a deity that's connected to bees. I know Ashun is has a connection with bees, so it could be that. Okay, so grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. Why do we have that here? I feel like you're someone who does what they want. You're giving me you know, whether you're boy, girl, non-binary, you're giving me the energy of Megan Fox in Jennifer's Body. You're giving me that energy, like that darker energy, but like in a good way. But this is how people in public will view you. I feel like they're viewing you like that Megan Fox character from Jennifer's Body. Who did she play? Oh, well, Jennifer, obviously. You're giving me like that Jennifer's girl's energy, like very seductive. I feel like people feel very, because I'm hearing Eminem's song Seduction. I'm hearing that as well. People know not to mess with you, or they realize it quite early on. Reclaim your power. See, no one can hold anything over you because you know where you mess up. You know your shadow traits. You know who your shadow self is. You know your vulnerability. You know where you mess up. And that's why with Reclaim Your Power, people can't have that power over you because you own it anyway. You're not scared of anything. When people are trying to bully someone or project onto someone, they look for their weakness and use it against them. But you can't use someone's weakness against them if they already own it anyway and are aware of it. Because that sort of person who's aware of it is already 2 steps ahead. And I feel like that's you. Very interesting. And then let spirit be your guidance. Spirit has a plan. I feel like people feel like you work with spirit, or at least you just like, you dance to the beat of your own drum. That's how people view you. You dance to the beat of your own drum. Little do they know you're listening to your intuition and you're working with spirit all the time. Even if you don't feel like you're someone that connects with spirit, I feel like you're intuitively listening to your higher self all the time anyway. Because that's how you look at the world. Very much so. Birds may be significant for you guys. Spirit has a plan. Very interesting. And these eyes are so deep as well. And I feel like that's your eyes. Love that. I love that. So Pal 2, that is what I have for you. I really hope, and I end the reading with that when I heard ocean eyes as I picked your crystal. Very interesting. So Pile 3, that's what I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed. Hit the thumbs up or comment down below if this resonated for you. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pal 4, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how strangers view you in public. You guys chose the amber crystal. I'm going to pop that up the top and we are going to get straight in. Before I start, I was being shown, there's always a Pal sometimes where I'll pick up like Sharpay from High School Musical energy. So it may be coming up because I've said it to you in other readings like this. But I was being shown her when she's like getting ready for prom in the 3rd movie. And they're like, who's that girl? You know, and she's like blow drying her hair in her little hat mirror. I just remember that scene. And I'm sure it was her. They're all like, who's that girl? And like singing about her. There's like an energy about that. I feel like whether you're, you know, masculine, feminine, non-binary, I feel like you are quite feminine in nature. Powerful. I feel like you're quite feminine in nature, and I feel like you are very high maintenance and look after yourself. Again, whether you're male, female, non-binary, it doesn't matter. There's a strong feminine energy coming through from you guys, pal number 4, and I just feel like you have this very elegant but seductive aura about you. Almost like I'm hearing Mariah Carey's song Fantasy, like you just have that kind of like fantasy-esque about you. Maybe it's just the way that you dress and you just embody that within yourself, and then people are catching on to it. But there is that energy coming through of you being like, you know, like how in earlier 2000s movies they tried to demonize femininity by making their mean girl be the most feminine person ever. Like Sharpay was the mean girl and she was feminine. It was like they were, and then the kind of like the cool girl was the one that was like the hero. So they kind of demonized femininity quite young, and we all grew up to kind of demonize it. Whereas I feel like you tap into it very well, and tap into that softer side of you very well, but like you own it, and it's very like bold within you, and it's something that people pick up on quite strongly. 100%. And I feel like you take care of yourself too, I'm being told. Very aesthetically pleasing, that sort of thing. I'm hearing as well, something that people realize about you in public is how good you smell. Like you either get asked what perfume do you wear, do you wear, or people will just naturally think that like, oh my god, this person smells really good. I feel like that's something people remember about you, like, well, this person always smells really good. 100%. I feel like that's something about you. Powerful. I'm here. Who sings? Was it Madonna who sings Material Girl? I'm hearing Material Girl by Madonna, and then I'm hearing Prima Donna Girl by Marina and the Diamonds. They're the songs that I'm hearing. You are very connected to your divine feminine, and just like be in luxury and high maintenance because you deserve it. Not that it's like over the top, because high maintenance isn't just like I'm gonna buy all of these things. High maintenance is just like I know what I'm worth. And I feel like that's you guys. 7 of Wands. People are really drawn to you, especially romantic interests. I feel like you get a lot of looks and people trying to flirt with you when you're out in public. Whether you realize it, sometimes we don't realize it. I never really realize when people are flirting with me, to be honest with you. But I feel like people do. Upright or upside down? Upright. 5 of Pentacles reverse. People feel like, I personally don't like Chris Brown. I'm going to say it. I don't like the boy at all. But he has a song where he sings, and I know because my ex used to sing it all the time. He has this song where he sings, why are you hating from outside of the club? You can't even get in. So people almost feel out in the cold about you guys, pal 4. Like you're in an exclusive sort of circle, or it's just hard to get into your... Yeah, you're on your pedestal and you're not coming down for people, and I feel like people view you like that. This person's on their pedestal. They're not going to pay me any mind. And I don't even feel like you're like that. You're actually really soft with a really beautiful heart. I just think like you know who you are in a very beautiful way. And it's not even like you're super bold. You're just careful. Very feminine and very careful. You don't mind being passive and nurturing and in that feminine energy, but you're careful about who you bring around you. And I don't even feel like you need to exert it, because your aura and your essence says it. Yes, it's itself. Yeah, so you're very divine feminine, and I feel like you draw in a lot of romantic suitors, or a lot of people like in a romantic sense are drawn to you when you're out and about. And I feel like a lot of people may feel intimidated to step towards you, because it's like, would I be able to bring them all that they'd want? This person feels like they know what they want. Can I bring them that? You know what I mean? And I feel like it protects you in ways from getting hurt. Maybe not enough to like learn lessons. I feel like you've learned lessons to, you know, stand in your own essence, but I feel like you're aware of who you are now, and I feel like people are very wary stepping towards you, not because of you, because you come across very kind-natured. Let me just say that. Very kind-natured. But you know who you are at the same time. Why have we got the Seven of Wands? Why have we got this card here, Seven of Wands? Why is pile number 4 got the Seven of Wands? Why did... I feel like I do feel like you intimidate people, pile 4, but you don't mean to intimidate people, because... And what is intimidating about you is how soft and nurturing you actually are. Okay, how do I even put this into words? I'm finding out how to put this into words. You're very soft and you're very nurturing and you're very connected to who you are. And because of that, people are like, almost, people that aren't confident enough to step towards you will almost like bully themselves or be in their head about coming over to talk to you, or, you know, giving you like a pickup line, or trying to, you know, come into your life, because it's like, am I good enough for this person? Is this person, like, people are scared of being, that's it, people are scared of being rejected by you. Why did it take me that long to put that energy into that word? People are scared of rejection, so they'll beat themselves up because they think that they're going to be rejected, even though they want to step towards you, because they're seeing you as the six of wands. Are you well known in some sort of way in your town? Maybe people know of you, you may be someone that's always in relationships, and you may have a very high standard about relationships. There's something about relationships about you where you either have had a lot, or you're a relationship type of person, or you naturally draw in a lot of romantic interests, whether you take to them or not, because that may be the energy. Well, I don't see them in a relationship, and I haven't seen them in a relationship, so I don't think that they're going to want to be in one with me, or how am I going to step towards them? Because it's like, the thing about the romantic people being more interested in you, pile 4, and stepping towards you, a lot of people in regards to like the romantic sense, they will step towards someone and try and use a tactic to get that person to like them, right? So like, for example, with me, very connected to spirit, I find when people want to connect with me, they'll be like wanting to talk about spirituality, you know, or they'll be like, oh, you know, why don't they'll think that what I want to do if I go on a date is all these spiritual things, and it's actually not what I like to do on a date. I like to do fun things like quad biking and, you know, kind of like masculine things. So when people are like, do you want to go gaze at the stars? Yeah, it's nice, but I don't want to do something so intimately. I want to do these physical things. Whereas with you, you're very feminine. You're very high maintenance in that sense. And I feel like people view you almost as quite classy and things like that. And people are like, oh, this person's too high maintenance. I don't want to ask them on a date, because then they might want to go to this fancy restaurant, or they might want to do this, might want to do that. When I feel like you're in a sense, you're not actually quite like that. Like within, I feel like people almost build it up in the head and then get too scared, and then it crashes, and then they just don't bother. Do you get what I mean? Or because you're very into more feminine things, they don't know how to relate to it, so they don't know how to step towards you, because people do use that tactic. It even happens in the wild. Like, I was watching a documentary about animals the other day, and there was all these birds trying to impress the female, and they were doing these cool funky dances to try and like see what the bird liked. The bird didn't end up going for any of them, and it's quite fair, I don't blame her. They were really bad dances, but the birds were really trying to get her attention. And I feel like you have that in real life. Like, you have people trying to, because you embody the divine feminine so strongly, you're in that receiving energy, that passive energy, like you're in it so strongly in a very beautiful way that people don't know how to match it or how to step towards it yet. And you do get a lot of people like fumbling, or you may not even realize it, but you do. That's how it's coming across, in a very naturistic way as well. I'm not saying you know, you're going out into town and 3, you know, suitors start breaking out into dance to try and gain your affection. But I feel like people do try and pick at like, what would this person like, and then it ends up crashing and burns because they don't know how to approach in that way. It's like an Aphrodite-esque sort of thing, you know. You may have a lot of Venus in your chart, maybe connected to Aphrodite. You may work with Aphrodite, very beautiful energy, goddess energy. I feel like you work with a particular goddess. And that's why I feel like that's why you chose the amber crystal as well. There's like a sensual side that I feel like you embody your sensual side very well. very well. I feel like how people would view you out in public, I would say go listen to Chloe Bailey song Treat Me. Listen to that, and I feel like that would perfectly show you how people would think that you are. That's what I'm being told. Why do I have the Seven of Cups? A lot of people fantasize about you. A lot of people fantasize about you. And then they feel out in the cold because they didn't make the physical step to step towards you. So they'll fantasize about you. And this may have been a downfall in relationships in the past where people fantasized about you before they got to you. Or they were in love with the idea of you before they actually got towards you. And maybe it was like, well, you don't really know me. You're not understand. I'm hearing You Don't Own Me by... I don't know the name. You guys will probably know the song. You Don't Own Me. I'm not one of your many toys or something like that. I think it is. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. Don't tell me what to say. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, I'm just hearing that song coming through. Like, I feel like a lot of people have stepped towards you for the idea of you and not who you actually are. And I feel like that's why people are like fumbling the bag, because they're trying to impress you in that way, when I feel like there's so many layers to you that people don't see, because again, we're talking about strangers, and then they feel out in the cold then, but it's like they were trying too hard. Do you understand what I mean? And you're in your essence, you're not trying, you're just effortlessly you, but they're trying too hard and getting up in their heads about it. And people rush towards you as well. They don't take a soft approach. You probably have people love bomb you because they just rush in, and then you may even get scared and clam up. Like, whoa, I don't even want to come out of my shell. This is too much. People from your past think about you as well. I know it's nothing to do with the reading, but you do have people from your past thinking about you. Who sang the song, She Can't Sing, She Can't Dance, But Who Cares, She Walks Like Rihanna? Who sang that? It was a boy group. I have no idea what boy group it was. It could have been The Wanted. Could have not been The Wanted. I don't know who it was, but I know they sang She Walks Like Rihanna. I don't know. You'll have to Google the lyrics. I think it might have been The Wanted. Walks Like Rihanna it was called, I think. Pile 4. I feel like, I'm just saying it because you may be hearing that and going, I feel a bit hopeless in love now, like people are just going to step towards me like that. Don't, because I just got told a message that love for you is going to come through it being a friendship first, and then it's going to blossom, or you're going to find love through work. I just got a strong indicator that you're going to find love through work. It just came through. It's not going to resonate for everyone, but that just came through. Pile number... You embody Venus energy very beautifully. Trust the great mystery. Beautiful. I'm going to lay the cards and then I'll channel the messages for you, Pile 4. Pile 4, please, spirit guides. Oh, why did you run away? 2 seconds. We have the koi fish spirit. There is always enough. Love that. Okay. I love how we have water energy here, which is the energy of the sacral chakra, and you chose amber for the sacral chakra too. Oh. Some of you guys may work with Electrona, the goddess of the sun. Just came through, or she may be around you. Groundhog spirit, time to let go. Your old romantics are hard. I feel like your old souls are hard. Oh, you do have a really beautiful heart, actually. The oracle cards are taking me into your actual essence now, and not how people are viewing you, but we'll see how it binds with this now. Groundhog spirit, time to let go. You're a very passionate person. Beautiful heart. You love so deep. Pile 4, please, spirit guides. Pile 4, please, spirit guides. Do you have a lot of Cancer energy in your chart? Do you find yourself thinking of the past a lot? Past friendships, past relationships? You're seen as a really good person. Like, especially by people from the past as well. They know you're a good person. Even if they've done you dirty, they know you are really lovely. Think on your feet. That's what we have here. And then the back of the deck we have I love how it got blue, the lighter chakra colours, and then it goes into like orange and red. Do you see how that's done it? Like red, orange, and then going into like green, and then going into blue. Back of the deck, we have Turkey Spirit, give with gratitude and grace. Maybe you've always been a giver and now you're in that energy of receiving and people can see that. Okay. Why do we have the Whale Spirit, trust the great mystery? And Koi-fish Spirit, there is always enough. Why do we have these watery energies first? How do people view? See, when people step towards you, they're not the first, because I feel like when you're out, you will get a lot of romantic interest, and I feel like when they're initially stepping towards you, it is the Seven of Cups energy, and they're not looking at the emotions behind it. You have such a beautiful heart, such a deep heart. You have so many layers in regards to your emotions that you're so nurturing, so giving. You are the embodiment of a divine feminine energy. Like, you literally are like the divine feminine of like the embodiment of like the lunar energy, the moon energy. Like, you're the embodiment of it. And I feel like people don't even understand that stepping towards you. It's like they're just seeing what they can really kind of see in their own vibration or their own consciousness at that particular point. So it's almost like they're stepping over the water energy, not seeing the beauty that you really are within, and stepping over to the fiery energy, the seductive energy, the idea of you. And I feel like in ways it protects you, because then those people, it's like, I feel like where you're at now, you can see that a mile off. And then the people that really want to get to see you and see this emotional energy, I feel like they'll come straight to you for that, and won't project what they'd like you to be or anything like that. But there is this energy of people just being drawn to you for, you know, people may have come towards you in the past, like sexually, or again, it's just that the idea of you, there's so much more to you, that I feel like some people just don't have the depths within themselves yet to reach, because they haven't reached it in themselves. And I feel like Spirit's saying, when people don't see the depth of you with this Whale Spirit, because they go so deep into the ocean, when people don't see the depths of you, the reason we have the Koi-fish Spirit, there is always enough. There is plenty more fish in the sea that will be able to swim to that deep end. Don't worry about that little crab at the surface. This is a message coming through. Don't worry about that little crab at the surface. If something isn't resonating with you, it's because it isn't for you. They're not able to give the level of love that you give out. So there's always enough. There's a greater love out there for you. Because we have time to let go with this heart energy. I feel like you may be thinking back to somebody from the past, and there's this energy of letting go, because someone will be able to love you deeper and see those sides of you that someone may have looked over, or many people may have looked over. It's time to let that go. With the Groundhog Spirit, someone's going to see all that you are, because they'll be that too. And you won't have to worry about coming out of your pedestal, swimming to the shallow end, fixing them up, trying to make them see you. You won't have to do that, because you're not supposed to be in that pushy energy of, look at me, like there's so much more. You don't have to be in that. The right person's going to see it. And Divine Feminine naturally is passive. Divine Feminine naturally is in that state of receiving. You're someone that doesn't have to do a whole lot to get attention and energy like that. You get it anyway. So with that being said, you are able to be in that energy of abundance, and abundance mindset of, this person doesn't work for me, there is another that will be able to work for me and will align with me, and I don't have to accommodate myself for somebody else or step out of my feminine energy for that. Because I feel like some people with you, Pal 4, they've had you step out of your feminine energy because they weren't able to tap into that masculine energy. They wanted you to be in the masculine energy, and maybe you've done that and stepped out of that feminine energy because they weren't comfortable in it within themselves. But your whole role in this lifetime, the way that it came through so strongly, is to be more divine feminine than divine masculine, because it's a role that you have in this lifetime. We'll always have one more dominant than the other, and I feel like that's you. And I feel like maybe the person that you may be thinking about was wanting to pull you into that masculine energy because they didn't have it within themselves, and it made them more comfortable, and that's why it didn't necessarily work. Why do we have think on your feet? Why do we have that? Think on your feet. Why do we have that, Spirit Guides, for Pile 4? Yeah, people like naturally gravitate towards you because you have this natural receiving energy about you anyway. Big heart in this energy of receiving. So people naturally float, like rush towards you with this Knight of Swords, like boom, 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 rushing towards you. But I feel like the connections that have stayed and that have stayed in your life now, they've built with you from the ground up. They haven't rushed towards you. It's flowed and been nice and slow. Oh, you have a very beautiful heart, and people then are just seeing you as this like Aphrodite energy in public and not seeing all of this. The nurturing, beautiful energy that you have. Like, they see it, but they can't comprehend it, only to their own level of perception. So don't dim your light to make them understand. You're not even supposed to make them understand. Wait for somebody to flow to you and be in that energy of receiving, because the universe is abundant. There's always enough. Plenty more fish in the sea, I'm hearing. But yeah, you drawing a lot of romantic interest. There's something very Venusian here. Very like Aphrodite energy coming through. Very Venusian, very beautiful energy coming through. And people, when they're in public, are very attracted to you, find you very alluring. Always have done, I'm being told. Because you may be like, oh, not at this point. No, they always have done. People have always done that. Powerful. So that's what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed, and I hope this resonated for you. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.